Have you ever felt like your thoughts weren't entirely your own? As if, somehow, your decisions were being manipulated without you even realizing it? What if I told you that there's a technology capable of controlling your mind without you suspecting a thing? The MK Project, a real experiment conducted by the CIA during the Cold War, aimed for total control over human behavior. Drugs, hypnosis, psychological torture, nothing was off limits. Officially, the project was shut down in the 1970s. But what if that's just what they want us to believe? What if, instead of being buried, it evolved? Now, imagine discovering that you might be a living experiment in this secret program. That's exactly what happened to Ethan Carter, an ordinary man who suddenly began losing control over his own mind. What he uncovered led him to a terrifying truth. MK Ultra never ended. Ethan Carter was a talented programmer, living a peaceful, uneventful life. Until he started noticing something strange. Small memory lapses here and there. First, he forgot where he left his keys. Then, he couldn't remember phone calls his girlfriend swore she had made. Then came the voices. Not hallucinations. Not echoes of his own mind. They were subtle commands, whispered in the static of the radio, hidden in the rhythm of a TV commercial, embedded in the beat of a song he didn't even recall playing. Go to the cafe on the corner. He went. Order a coffee with no sugar. He did. Was it a game, a psychological disorder, or something much more sinister? As he started investigating, Ethan discovered that others were experiencing the same thing. Obscure online forums spoke of hidden messages, subliminal control, mental programming. And the scariest part? Many of the people in these discussions were disappearing. That's when he stumbled upon a name that changed everything: MK Ultra. MK Ultra was a real CIA program in the 1950s and 60s, designed to study methods of mind control. They used LSD, sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and even torture to turn individuals into remotely controlled agents. In declassified documents, there was something peculiar: references to a successor project, never fully detailed. Ethan noticed a pattern among those who had vanished from the forums. They worked in technology, communications, or were exposed to digital content for long periods. What if the new MK Ultra no longer needed drugs or electric shocks? What if the new weapon was the internet itself? Ethan started analyzing his social media, the websites he visited, the commercials he watched. There were hidden patterns in everything, subliminal messages, phrases that, when isolated, made no sense, but when pieced together, formed commands. With each discovery, his memory lapses increased. And then, one day, he woke up in an unfamiliar place, holding a note in his hand. Stop investigating. This is your last chance. Ethan ran. He didn't know how he had gotten there, but he knew he was being watched. This wasn't a game anymore. He needed help. That's when he found Dr. Malcolm Reeves, a former scientist who claimed to have worked on an ultra-secret government project. Reeves confirmed Ethan's worst fears. MK Ultra never ended. It just changed its name. Now, the new phase of the experiment used algorithms, social media, and radio waves to manipulate the minds of millions simultaneously. And the worst part? Ethan wasn't an isolated case. He was just one of the few who had noticed. Malcolm explained that once you were inside the program, there was no way out. They could activate mental triggers to erase memories or control actions. Many people believed they were making their own decisions, but in reality, they were simply following pre-programmed commands. Ethan tried to fight it, but it was already too late. That night, he received one last message. Not on his phone, not on his computer, but in his own mind. Sleep, Ethan. Tomorrow, you won't remember a thing. And then, everything went dark. The next morning, Ethan Carter woke up in his apartment. Everything seemed normal. His job, his routine, his life. He remembered nothing of what had happened. But every now and then, when he looked at the TV, his phone, or a billboard on the street, a strange feeling washed over him. As if, for just a second, he knew something was wrong. Something he couldn't quite remember. And you? Are you sure your decisions are your own? Or could MK Ultra still be at work, shaping your mind without you realizing it? Do you believe we're being controlled without knowing? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe to the channel.